Hi, everyone. This is Carnivore Ron, also Ron, the composer and arranger for music. Today, I wanted to talk a subject called acceptance. Um, I've had a lot of things happen to me in my 70 plus years of life. And sometimes an event um, teaches you a lesson. And so I'm going to tell you about an event that happened to me. But I've got to set the stage first. First of all, I told you before about my first marriage. My first wife really had no respect for me. I think she viewed me as a meal ticket uh, and a way of not having to work. Uh, her parents, my in laws, did not accept me in any way, shape, or form. They hated fat people. Now, this is not unusual in our society. And I think all of us seek acceptance in some way from somebody or from our culture or society. And some of you, that may be your motivation for the carnivore diet. I don't know. Um, I think your primary motivation ought to be to get healthy. And the side effect of that is usually losing weight. As I set the backdrop, I had been divorced for maybe a year and a half. I had very little social life. Basically, I had one male friend, no female friends really at all. Acquaintances, people that I worked with or knew or did business with, yes. But socially, no. So uh, I would quite often just eat at home, fix something at home. But this one evening, I decided I was hungry for some Wendy's chili. So I went over to Wendy's, and of course, usually in the evening time, these fast food restaurants at that time period weren't very busy. I don't know how they are now because I don't go to fast food restaurants for anything anymore now that I'm on carnivore. But at that time, usually the restaurant was, pretty empty. Uh, so I sat down in the dining room, and there was a family of three sitting kind of on the opposite side of the dining room, a distance from me. And I really didn't pay much attention, but I did notice that the young boy that was with them, and I couldn't tell you how old he was. He probably was 11, 12. But you could tell he was what we would call special. And the younger version of me would have probably not wanted anything to do with him. But I looked up and I saw him looking over at me. And I think they had just finished their meal. And he said something to his parents. And he got up and he walked over to me without saying a word. And he put his hand out like this with a smile. I'm thinking to myself, I want people to accept me for what I am. That means that I need to accept other people for what they are. And so in that moment, I had learned that lesson. I reached my hand out and shook his. He smiled. I smiled. No words were said, nothing. But there was a communication with the smile and the body language. Uh, his parents got up. They were both smiling. And I think because of what their son did, he extended a hand of friendship to someone that looked lonely. They walked out of the restaurant, and That was the incident. The lesson, I guess, that I'm trying to give here is that when we first start on carnivore, as an example, we want everybody to join with us. This is the way to do it. This is the secret. This is how you get healthy. You got to get rid of seed oils, you got to get rid of carbohydrates and sugars and all that. Stop eating starchy vegetables. But we can't do that. Okay, people have to come to this on their own. We need to accept that not every person makes the same choice that we do. And so there's room for people who are vegans and vegetarians. There are people who are on the standard American diet. I know you want to share with them your excitement about being on this diet, but it's something you can't do. People have to be ready for it. They have to fall into it. And the best thing that you can do is to take care of yourself and learn to accept other people's choices. And that lesson initially for me, I think that's why I had the memory of that event. It came back to me as a learning moment. And so I'm just going to leave you with that event and to think about things. And I hope that you all have just a great day. If you're in a bad situation like I was with my first marriage, and you needed to get out of that you take the steps necessary to do to get out of that situation. Anyway, best of luck. I know that we all have struggles in our lives. We all have different struggles. No one situation is the same as another. But if you want to be accepted, you need to do some accepting yourself. And, do what you've got to do. I wish for all of you to be happy, to be healthy, and to just have as good a life as you can possibly have. And I think there's nothing more to be said here with this topic. I could probably come up with other examples, but I'm going to leave it this way. You guys just have a great day. Carnivore Ron signing out.